July 2025, Dover, Florida. A woman named Sharon Brightwell picks up the phone and hears her daughter sobbing. The daughter says she's been in a car accident. She's lost her unborn child. She's in legal trouble. She needs help right now. So Sharon does what any mother would do. She withdraws $15,000 in cash, hands it to a courier, and waits to hear from her daughter. The voice on the phone was an AI clone.
Grant, it gets me every time you tell that story. Because the worst part isn't that she lost the money. The worst part is what she heard.
Her daughter's voice, crying, in the worst moment of her life.
Except it wasn't her daughter. It wasn't anyone. It was 3 seconds of social media audio turned into a weapon.
Welcome to the new fraud economy.
Hi everyone, welcome to Trek for Wealth. I'm Avery, that's Grant, and today we're talking about the number that should be making every American check on their parents tonight. The FBI just released its 2025 Internet Crime Report. Americans lost $20.9 billion to scams last year. That's the highest number in the report's 25-year history. And for the first time ever, AI got its own section.
108,000 complaints over the threshold of 1 million. Total losses up 26% in 1 year.
So we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to trace this back through 100 years of American con artists, from a little Italian guy in Boston in 1920 to Bernie Madoff, all the way to a Hong Kong finance worker who wired $25 million to a video call full of people who didn't exist. Let's get into it.
So Avery, I'm going to date myself here. When I was a kid, the warning my grandmother got was, be careful of the man on the porch.
The door-to-door scam.
Right, the fake encyclopedia salesman, the vacuum cleaner that costs 3 times what it should. The pitch was face-to-face. The defense was also face-to-face. You looked the guy in the eye, you trusted your gut.
And now?
Now, the man on the porch is your granddaughter's voice. The history of fraud is really the history of trust, and how the technology of the moment lets criminals borrow someone else's.
So let's go back. The original. Charles Ponzi, 1920.
Carlo Ponzi, Italian immigrant, set up shop at 27 School Street in Boston. He told investors he'd discovered an arbitrage in international postal reply coupons. Buy them cheap in Italy, redeem them for stamps in the US, pocket the difference.
Did the arbitrage actually exist?
Theoretically. Practically, no. You'd have needed 160 million coupons. Only 27,000 were in circulation worldwide.
So the math was never there.
The math was never there. But the pitch was beautiful. 50% return in 45 days, 100% in 90. The prevailing interest rate at the time was 5%, a year.
And people believed it.
They lined up. Police had to manage the crowds. The line for his office stretched from Boston's City Hall all the way down School Street. At his peak, Ponzi was taking in $2 million a week. In $1920.
Whose money did he target?
His own community. Italian immigrants in Boston's North End. People who trusted him because he sounded like them, looked like them, had the same accent. The first rule of every con since, borrow the trust you didn't earn.
That's the line. That's the whole episode right there.
It's the architecture of every fraud, Avery. Ponzi did it with an Italian accent. Bernie Madoff did it with a Jewish country club. AI is doing it with your daughter's voice.
Talk to me about Madoff for a minute, because I think people forget how big that was.
$65 billion, the largest Ponzi scheme in history, ran for at least 17 years, maybe longer. And he wasn't selling postal coupons, he was selling himself. Former NASDAQ chairman, respected, the synagogue connection, the Palm Beach Country Club connection, hedge fund managers, charities. Steven Spielberg lost money. Elie Wiesel's foundation lost money.
Because if Madoff said it was true, Who was going to argue?
Exactly. The trust wasn't in the math. The trust was in the man. And here's what I want listeners to hold on to, because this is the bridge to today. Every major fraud wave in American history scales with the dominant communication technology. Ponzi scaled with the telegram and newspaper ad. The boiler room phone scams of the 80s scaled with cheap long distance. Nigerian prince emails scaled with the inbox. Madoff scaled with quarterly statements you couldn't verify.
And AI scales with voice and face and video.
Every defense you have ever been taught for spotting a scam, AI just turned off.
Okay, let me hit people with where we are right now. April 2026. FBI 2025 Internet Crime Report. 20.9 billion in reported losses. Over 1 million complaints for the first time ever. And the AI section, brand new this year, 22,364 complaints. $893 million.
And those are just the ones that got reported.
Right, because the FTC estimates only 15% of victims report. So if you take that number and multiply by 6...
You don't have to. Just understand the number you're seeing is the tip.
And here's the part that breaks me. Americans over 60 lost $7.7 billion last year, up 60% from 2024.
The grandparent scam went on steroids.
Tell people how it works, the mechanics, because I want every listener to be able to spot this tonight if it happens to someone they love.
3 seconds of audio. That's it. 3 seconds of someone's voice from a TikTok video, an Instagram reel, a YouTube comment, even a voicemail greeting. McAfee's research shows 3 seconds gets you an 85% voice match. Pay a little more attention, you get indistinguishable.
From how much money?
Free. Several of the tools are free.
Free.
The scammer scrapes social media, finds a grandchild's name, finds their college, maybe their car. Then calls the grandparent. The grandchild's voice, in tears. "Grandma, I've been in an accident. I need bail money. Don't tell Mom and Dad." Then a second voice. The lawyer, the officer, comes on with wire instructions.
And the FBI says the typical demand is what? $2,500 to $15,000?
That's the sweet spot. Small enough to wire without bank flags, big enough to ruin someone's month or year.
Let me read one. May 2026, Missoula, Montana. A mother gets a call. Her daughter's voice, sobbing. Car crash. Needs money. Don't call the police. She was about to wire thousands. The only thing that saved her was a frantic second call to her daughter's actual workplace. And her daughter was at her desk.
The voice was real. The daughter was not.
Grant, this is the part I don't think people understand. Voice cloning isn't the only thing AI is doing. Walk me through the spectrum.
5 buckets. 1. Voice clones, the grandparent scam we just walked through. 2. Deepfake videos. We'll come back to that one in a minute. 3. AI-generated romance scams, where the scammer chats with 800 victims at once using a language model. 4. Fake investment platforms with AI-generated charts, AI-generated testimonials, AI-generated customer service. 5. AI-generated fake documents, driver's licenses, passports, proof of life photos for the kidnapping scams.
Proof of life photos.
A photo of your grandchild bound and gagged, generated in 30 seconds, sent to your phone.
Okay. The deepfake video case. Tell them about Arup.
January 2024. Arup is a London engineering firm. They designed the Sydney Opera House. 18,000 employees. A finance worker in their Hong Kong office gets an email from the CFO about a confidential transaction. He's suspicious. So he does the right thing. He requests a video call to verify.
He did everything right.
He did everything right. He gets on the call. The CFO is there. So are two other colleagues he recognizes. They confirm the request. He executes 15 wire transfers, totaling $25.6 million.
None of them were real.
Every face on that call was an AI deepfake, built from publicly available footage of the executives, LinkedIn videos, earnings calls, YouTube. Their CIO later said he tried to deepfake himself afterward using free open-source tools just to see. It took him 45 minutes.
45 minutes to deepfake yourself convincingly enough to fool your own employees.
The technology that scared the Pentagon 5 years ago is now a YouTube tutorial.
Let's do the balanced view, because I want to be careful here. AI isn't the villain.
AI is a tool. The same voice cloning tech that runs this scam runs ALS patients' communication devices, lets stroke survivors speak again, lets parents who've lost a child hear their voice one more time in a memorial. The technology is morally neutral.
So what is the villain?
Two things. One, the gap between how fast the offensive capability is improving and how fast our institutions can defend. The FBI's Operation Level Up has notified 8,000 victims. They've reduced losses by $500 million. That sounds like a lot, until you remember the annual losses are $20 billion.
25 to 1.
25 to 1. The second villain is what we share. The average American posts hundreds of hours of audio and video of themselves online. Their parents, their kids, their grandkids. Every TikTok is training data for someone, somewhere, who might one day use it against your family.
That's the part that haunts me.
But there's good news. The defenses are dead simple. They don't require any technology. They require 5 minutes and a phone call to someone you love.
Let's get to the wealth moves, because this is one of those episodes where the moves are low cost and high impact.
Move 1. Tonight, before you go to bed, set up a family safe word.
Talk about that.
One word or one phrase. Something a scammer could never guess and your family will never forget. Not a birthday, not a pet's name, something weird. Blue armadillo. Grandpa's tractor. Doesn't matter. Pick one. Tell every member of your immediate and extended family. Aunts, uncles, grandparents. The rule is simple. If anyone calls you claiming to be family in an emergency, you ask for the safe word. No word, no money. No exceptions.
And the genius of the safe word is that even if the voice is perfect, the AI doesn't know your inside joke.
Doesn't know it. Can't know it. The AI can clone the voice. It cannot clone the relationship.
Move 2.
Lock down your social media voice. Make your grandkids' accounts private. Audit your own. Pull down anything where you're talking to camera for more than a few seconds. This isn't paranoia. This is the same logic as not posting your address.
We don't think of our voice as private information. We should.
Your voice is biometric data. Treat it that way.
Move 3.
Hang up, call back. This applies to any incoming call requesting urgent money. The bank, the IRS, the police, your kid, your boss, any of them. Hang up, call the institution back on the number you have saved, or call your family member directly. 2 minutes of, "I'm sorry, let me call you right back," has saved more money than every fraud detection algorithm combined.
Move 4.
Verify the video. If you get a video call where someone is asking for money or unusual access, ask them to do something an AI struggles with. Turn their head slowly side to side. Wave their hand in front of their face. Right now, today, real-time deepfakes still have artifacts at edges. The technology's good, it's not perfect. Yet.
And the yet is important.
The yet is important. So move 4 is good for 2026. By 2028, we might need a different move. The principle doesn't change. Always verify out of band.
Move 5. The big one.
Have the conversation tonight. With your parents, your grandparents, anyone in your life who you'd describe as trusting. Older Americans lost $7.7 billion to this last year, not because they were foolish, because nobody told them the technology existed.
This is the love move.
This is the love move. You don't need to scare them. You just need to say, "Mom, Dad, there's a new scam where they can make me sound like I'm in trouble on the phone. If you ever get a call like that, here's our safe word." 5 minutes, one phone call, could save them everything.
Grant, close us out.
Charles Ponzi worked at 27 School Street in Boston. Bernie Madoff worked at a desk on the 17th floor of the Lipstick Building in Midtown Manhattan. The AI scammer who calls your grandmother tonight works at a laptop. Somewhere. Could be anywhere. The address keeps moving. The technology keeps improving. The pitch keeps getting more convincing. But the architecture has not changed in 106 years. Borrow the trust. Create the urgency. Eliminate the verification. Take the money. The defense hasn't changed either. Slow down. Verify out of band. Trust the relationship more than the voice. Preparing without predicting. Always. Because you cannot predict the next scam, but you can prepare the family safe word tonight in 5 minutes before the call ever comes.
That's Trek for Wealth. 5 minutes, one safe word. Could save your family everything. We'll see you next week. Keep trekking.